my right arm is going to start to hurt. I'm going to notice that it's just beginning to bother me. If I have to hold this class for an entire day, I'm just not going to be able to carry on. My arm is going to ache, be painful, and it's just not going to be sustainable for me. In each case, the weight is the same, but it's how long I have to hold it that matters. And so it is with stress. When we carry our burdens all the time without any time to put them down, eventually that's going to catch up with us. So, what we have to do, just like with this glass of water, we need to put that glass down, put those burdens down, and simply rest. When we do, we come back to our tasks at hand with a clearer perspective, a renewed and refreshed spirit, and then we can look at these things with different eyes and go on again. It refreshes us, and that is what we need. And so, what is the solution then? How do we put these burdens down? Well, the best way to put them down is to implement a little self care into your life. Easier said than done when you spend all your time caregiving. How do we do that? Well, at Courage to Caregivers, first of all, we say that self care is selfish. We know that it is as necessary to give to yourself as it is to give to someone else. And we know that you give to someone else all the time. At Courage to Caregivers, we know that the three components to self care are mindful breathing, meditation, and deep rest. Those three. Regulating your breath is a way to bring down your stress level. And that is why we practice a breathing meditation in our Courage to Caregivers journey. Your breath is a tool that you can use all of the time and call it up whenever you need it. It is always with you. It is portable. We know that it is both involuntary and voluntary. For example, we breathe in and we breathe out. And when it's time to breathe in again, we know that that next breath will be there. We can rely on that. That is the involuntary aspect. But we also know that it's voluntary, and that is why we learn so many different types of breathing techniques, but especially how to slow that breath down and how to deepen that breath. And by doing so, your stress level comes down. So that's the voluntary part, is the knowledge on how to do that. And we all are capable to do that. When we're stressed, we tend to breathe from right up here in our chest in a very rapid and shallow manner. And when we do that, we're not allowing for nice, fully oxygenated breaths to go through our body, right? It's not efficient or effective to breathe in a shallow, rapid way. We also know that when we breathe that way, our body is in the sympathetic nervous system, which is the adrenaline fueled, anxiety driven fight or flight response. Now, it is very necessary to have that part of our nervous system. We need that at various times, but it's not good to be in that system all the time. So, what we want to do is slow down our breathing. And what we want to do is breathe from the diaphragm, and that is the muscle that is located underneath the rib cage on both sides of the chest cavity. When we breathe from the diaphragm, and that is called low belly breathing, we are breathing slowly, and our body goes from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is the rest and digest and relaxation response. That is where we want to be when we need to rest and when we need to reduce our stress and anxiety. When we breathe in a deep manner and from the diaphragm, this is what happens in the body. We reduce that blood pressure, we reduce the heart rate, we reduce the infusion, the output of that stress hormone, cortisol. We boost our immune system, we boost the digestive process. We lift ourselves out of anxiety and depression, and we calm the entire nervous system. And those are only a few things that happen. There's many, many more when you slow down your breath. And so let's do what we do all the time, encourage to caregivers. Let's do a little breathing practice here to really get down into that relaxed state of being. I know that's where we all really want to be tonight. That's what we crave. And so I invite you to get comfortable in your seat there. Maybe bring yourself towards the back of your chair and have your feet on the floor. If you're short like me, you may need to put a pillow behind your back so that your feet do touch the floor. And I invite you to just roll your shoulders up to your ears and let them settle softly down so that you're not holding any tension in your shoulders now. Good. And then bring your spine so that it's nice and tall and lifted. When your spine is lifted and you're sitting up straight, your breathing becomes more efficient. And then feel that you're lifting through the crown of your head. And I invite you to either close your eyes or leave them at a soft gaze, at a gazing point in front of you, your choice. And then just notice the grounding of your feet on the floor beneath you. Feel that connection. And then feel that connection of your sitting bones on the chair beneath you. And then become aware of the space around you and above you, the universe and the infinite that is all around us all the time. And so just begin with me an easy breath in and out, in and out. Connecting to your breath here. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Just begin to feel yourself coming into a state of calm and relaxation. Let any thoughts that may try to intrude just go. Just notice them and then just let them go. Let them float away like a little leaf floating down a stream. They will not impact your practice today. So softening the body, softening the muscles, and just breathing in and out, in and out. And just becoming aware of the sensations in your body. For example, what does that breath feel like when you're breathing in? Does it feel cool as it comes in? And does it feel warm as it exits your nose? Just the sensation of coolness and warmth. In yoga and in breathing meditation, we focus on the awareness of body sensations. And when we get to know what our body is experiencing, that's when we can delve a little bit deeper into our meditation practice. So just notice how the body is feeling in the present moment. In and out, in and out. And then I invite you to deepen the breath just a little with a practice called ocean breath or ujjayi breathing. This is an ancient yoga practice where you envision the breath on the out breath. So this is on the exhale, passing over your throat like an ocean wave. And it sounds something like this. It's the ha sound. So the in breath is normal, breathing in, and the out breath is and I invite you to try that a couple times on your own with an open mouth, breathing in normally, breathing out. And in your mind's eye, this sounds something like perhaps when you're fogging up your glasses to clean them or fogging up a mirror. I like to think of it as the sound that a seashell makes when you hold it up to your ear and you feel that coming and going of the ocean waves, that oceanic sound. And now I invite you to try that ocean breath with a normal in breath, but with the mouth closed this time on the out breath. So inhaling in normally and exhaling that ha sound with a closed mouth. But just the notion that you're moving that breath over your throat and you're expanding that breath into your body. So inhaling in and exhaling out. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Ocean breath. Good. And then I invite you, as you're breathing here, to bring one hand to your chest, to your heart, and one hand to your belly so that we can experience the physical sensations of the breath as it moves in and out of your body. So as you inhale in and your hand is on your heart, you will feel your chest rise and your ribs rise, and your belly expands out into your hand on the in breath. When you exhale, your belly contracts back towards your spine, ribs fall and chest falls. This is a 3-part breath called belly breathing. And it just helps us hone in on that deep breathing from the belly, from the diaphragm, as opposed to that breathing high up in your chest. So let's try that together. Breathing in, chest, ribs, belly, and breathing out, belly, ribs, chest. Breathing in, chest, ribs, belly, breathing out, belly, ribs, and chest. And then we're going to put a little count to this. And you don't have to be real specific about this. I'll count with you a couple times, but the goal is to breathe in to say the count of 4, and then breathe out and double that count on the exhale. So breathe out to a count of 8, but it can be 3, 6, 5, 10, however you want to do it. We're going to inhale together. I'll just use 4, 8 for the sake of doing it together. So inhaling in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on that exhale, you're really squeezing the air out of your lungs slowly, slowly, slowly until every little last bit is out. I will say that if there's anyone who experiences any breathing difficulties, such as asthma or any other issue, please just breathe normally. You don't have to employ any special techniques if that is not what's right for your body. So I invite you to choose if you'd like to just breathe normally, or just let's let that exhale out a little bit longer, twice as long if possible, to get you into that deep belly breathing, relaxation, calm breath. So once again, inhaling in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. As you continue to breathe on your own, knowing that you're nourishing your body with deep belly breathing, I will read our affirmations for tonight. And affirmations are intentions or mantras, affirmative statements that you say to yourself. And we know that when we say affirmative things, that is also another way to bring our breathing process down to a calmer level and to release stress. So I will read those for us tonight. I fill my cup with healthy connection, love, and fun. I am worthy of my own care and compassion. I take time regularly to do something that makes me feel good. I scan my body for evidence of my well-being or my need for self-care. Continue to follow the wave-like motion of your breath, letting that breath fulfill you nourish you. And then bring that hand that's on your belly to the hand that's over your heart so that both hands are now placed over your heart. And breathe here, giving yourself a little hug of compassion, a little self compassion for all you do on behalf of others every day in your caregiving routine. Some loving compassion for your generous caregiving heart. And take a few more mindful breaths here. Good. And when that feels complete, you may open your eyes and return your hands to your lap. We're going to do a little bit of chair yoga tonight. And when we move our body along with the breath, that is that's what yoga is all about. Yoga means union or to yoke. So it is the bringing together, the merging together of the mind and the body. And so those two things are very, very good in reducing stress. So let's try a few things tonight. Let's roll those shoulders up to the ears and just continue to roll them in one direction and then another, kind of wringing out the tension in your neck and shoulders, feeling the connection of your shoulder blades as you bring those shoulders back. And then when you change directions, feel the opening between the shoulder blades. Maybe moving the head a little bit from side to side, opening up all those tense places, all the things we carry with us every day. Good. And then let's bring our attention to our mountain pose. So we can do a seated mountain. And in seated mountain, our arms are down at our sides. Palms are facing forward. This. Feet are on the floor, shoulders back, crown is lifted, and we're nice and tall here. And just feel, close your eyes for a moment and feel the sensation of our bodies before movement. Just feel note in your mind what that feels like before we move. Notice any tight places. Maybe one side feels a little bit different than the other. Just notice. So much of awareness is noticing, just noticing. So in our mountain pose. Good. And so let's open the eyes and begin a little movement on just the right side of the body. So first, let's start with the right wrist. We're just going to move from the wrist, move the hand in a circle, maybe opening up the fingers, maybe wiggling those fingers as we move the wrist, inviting in a little movement. And then maybe moving that elbow back and forth, side to side, just getting a little movement in. And then the shoulder, opening up the shoulder. And if your shoulder is tight and it's difficult to move in a wide range of motion in the shoulder, just only go as far as is comfortable for your body. Even small movements do a lot of good. Good. And then coming a little bit closer to the edge of your chair, just start to point and flex the foot. So pointing the foot, you come up on the toes, flexing the foot, you pull back and you're on your heel here. So pointing and flexing the foot, maybe spreading the toes wide and then placing them down on the floor. Good. And then inviting a little movement in, just moving the knee, the right knee back and forth, side to side a little bit. Moving. And then bringing that right knee up to your chest. Just begin a little movement from the right hip. So circling that right leg, circling around. Good. And then placing that foot back on the floor and coming back into mountain pose. And then closing your eyes for a moment and just noticing how that right side of your body feels compared to the left. Maybe you feel like there's a little blood flow going because you moved. Maybe you're feeling that any tight places may have been loosened up a little bit, right? And so let's try to move the left side of the body in the same manner, starting now, circling that left wrist, left fingers, opening, moving. And then the left elbow, back and forth, front and back. And then opening up that left shoulder. And then bringing that hand back to your lap and then beginning again, pointing and flexing the left foot, opening up the toes, spreading them wide. Just feeling a little movement here. Be coming up on the toes and then coming up on the heel. Good. And then gathering that left knee, bringing it up into your chest and moving from the hip joint, just moving that leg all around, round in a circle, first in one direction and then another. And then returning that foot to the floor. If you have socks on now, you might want to remove those so that we can do a little bit of a foot massage here. And again, if you have any essential oils, it might be a good time, or some lotion, to bring those out. And the first thing we're going to come to do is to come into a seated pigeon pose. This will help us to bring our foot up to where we can get to it. So I invite you to come closer to the edge of your seat, sitting nice and tall, and then bring your left ankle over the right knee. So it looks something like this. You're bringing that left ankle over the knee, and you can simply just sit just like that, and just feel that stretch. You should feel a very significant stretch in that left hip. You could choose to sit like this, or you could put a little pressure by taking your left hand and pushing down on the left knee to come into a deeper stretch. Or you could even gather your left leg and pull it up towards you for an even more significant stretch. Or you could just simply sit and come forward a little bit, maybe fold over your hands. But again, that is up to you. Honor your body. I have tight hips myself, so this is a super difficult pose for me. So honor your body and just breathe into those tight places. Good. Beautiful. And then you can release that foot to the floor. We'll do the same thing on the other side, because in yoga, we do things on both sides in order to balance the body. So bringing that right ankle up to the left knee and just sitting here again, bringing your right hand to press down on the knee for a little more stretch, or just remain as it is, or gathering that leg and lifting up, for a deeper stretch, or coming forward and leaning forward. Totally up to you. In yoga, it's always yogi's choice. Good. Great. So while we have this foot up where we can reach it, I invite you to bring your hands to your left hand to that right foot, and then interlace your fingers in between the toes and kind of just start to shake hands with your foot here. So give your foot a little back and forth, back and forth. Just shaking hands with your foot, waking up those tight spaces. Good. And then with both hands on either side, so toe side and baby toe side, just start a little back and forth here with your foot. Just kind of bringing some motion in. And then start to massage using your thumbs. Start to massage the ball of your foot right underneath those toes there. And then right under the ball of the foot and into the arch, really giving yourself a nice deep massage. And then towards the heel. And then maybe even towards the very right up above your heel, that Achilles area there, just giving that a nice massage. And then just overall on your foot, we carry so much on those feet every day. The whole weight of our body and our feet do so much for us. They propel us from one thing to the other every day. Good, and as that feels complete, I invite you to bring that foot back down to the floor and just notice if you feel any difference in your feet right now. Maybe the one on the right feels a little more awake and alive. And that left foot might be crying out for a little massage. So again, let's bring that foot, we're gonna cross that ankle up over the right knee, and then take your right hand and weave your fingers through the toes, giving yourself a little handshake here. Back and forth, moving the foot. And then grasping the toe side and the pinky toe side, big toe and pinky toe, and just kind of a little back and forth motion, waking up that left foot. And then with your thumbs, kind of pushing into that flesh of the sole of your foot, the ball of the foot, and then just behind it, working into the arch area. And then the heel. And then right up above the heel in that Achilles area. It's giving that a nice little massage. And then going back over it one more time. Good. And then just return that foot to the floor. Close your eyes for a moment and notice how each foot feels. Good. And again, awareness is beginning to notice the sensations that your body gives at various times. So hopefully your feet are feeling a little more relaxed with a little bit of love that you just gave them. And now we're going to give our whole bodies a little bit of love, because we're going to come into the favorite part of our breathing meditation practice, and that is the deep rest called Shavasana. And tonight's practice is going to be Yoga Nidra, which is the ancient practice of deep rest. So I invite you to find your comforts for tonight, a pillow, a blanket or two. If you're going to be stretching out on the floor or on your yoga mat or on a couch, just bring yourself all the way out from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, maybe bringing your feet out to the far corners of your mat or your blanket. If you're seated in a chair, get really nice and comfortable in your seat, maybe putting a little blanket over yourself. And then start once again to feel your body just soften and relax. And so in Yoga Nidra, I guide you through a little bit of a meditation where I ask you to focus on certain parts of your body and bring your awareness there, bring your breath there. And then we move to another part and then another part until the rest is complete. Notice that if at any time you lose the sound of my voice and you just come into stillness and rest on your own, that's perfectly okay. That means that you're really, enjoying your rest, and that is totally fine. But the Yoga Nidra actually gets us to a place where we are between wakefulness and rest. So it's kind of like a semi-conscious state, and that is a really good place to be when our body and our minds are craving rest. So I invite you to soften all the muscles in your face. Just feel everything beginning to soften. Feel a softness behind your eyes. And feel your breath deepening here and slowing down. And feel your whole back body supported by the ground beneath you. Feel the muscles in your face begin to loosen, the muscles in your cheeks, your temples, your forehead, your jaw, and your throat. Let everything open up, relax, and be calm. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to the right shoulder and send your breath to the right shoulder and let that energy travel down your upper arm to your right elbow, your right forearm, your wrist, and your hand, the top of the hand, and the palm of the hand, and all the fingers of the right hand, the thumb, the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. So that from your right shoulder to your right hand, your right arm is completely relaxed. Now bring your attention down the right side of your body, all the way to your right hip. And bring your breath to the right hip, softening, relaxing, and let that breath travel down your right thigh to your right knee, your shin, ankle, and your right foot, the top of the foot and the sole of the foot, and all the toes of the right foot. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe. So that from your right hip all the way down to the toes of your right foot, your right leg is completely relaxed. Your right side of the body is completely relaxed. Now I invite you to direct your attention to the left shoulder And bring your awareness and your breath there. Moving down through your left upper arm, your left elbow, your left forearm, left wrist, and your left hand, and all the fingers of your left hand, your left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. So that from your left shoulder down to the fingers of your left hand, your whole left arm is relaxed. Now bring your awareness to the left hip. So moving from the left side of the body all the way down to the left hip, and bring your awareness and your breath there. Let that move down your left thigh, your left knee, your left shin, your left ankle, and to your left foot, and all the toes of the left foot. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe. The left leg is completely relaxed. The whole left side of the body is completely relaxed. Now bring your attention to the back of the head, the back of the neck, the shoulder blades as they connect on the floor beneath you, the whole back body, back of the thighs, back of the calves, the heels, the ankles, and just bring that breath awareness to the whole back body as it is now completely and totally relaxed. And finally, bringing your awareness to your heart space and the whole front of the body, the chest, abdomen, pelvis, and the whole front of the body. And know that you are resting now in this present moment. You are just where you need to be. Rest well. Rest well. Very, very gently and slowly, begin to bring your awareness back, maybe inviting in some small movements, perhaps rocking your head a little bit from side to side, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe gathering your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Whatever movement your body is craving at this moment to complete your deep rest. And when you feel ready, just roll to one side, make a little pillow for your head with your elbow, and just rest there, breathing mindfully. And I invite you to just listen to a quote by the philosopher Thich Nhat Hanh about breathing. And so you can keep your eyes closed if you wish, just to try to keep that inner world in for a few more moments and that outer world on the outside. And so Thich Nhat Hanh says, breathing and knowing that we are breathing is a basic practice. No one can be successful in the art of meditation without first going through the door of breathing. To practice conscious breathing is to open the door to stopping and looking deeply in order to enter the domain of concentration and insight. And when you feel ready, you can press yourself back up into a seated position.